Hello folks and welcome back to the channel. We've got another UK airfield to explore today, and yeah, this is by SC Designs and this is Blackbushe Airport, Echo Golf Lima Kilo, which is an operational general aviation airport, and it was actually built during the Second World War, and it's in sort of the northeast corner of England in Hampshire. And yeah, what we're going to do, actually, we're going to go and have a look in drone mode, as I often do these days, and then we're going to fly the Just Flight Arrow, which has had a massive update recently, by the way. I'm going to talk about that as we go in VR. So yeah, I think the first thing to do though is go to the cafe and check out what this scenery has to offer in terms of its textures and how it sits in the surroundings, all of the good stuff that you're used to now. Look at that, look at that nice PBR shine there on the fence. That's nice, I like that. So one thing I have noticed straight away as I've been flying around, I've done a few circuits already, and that's the signs around here are incredibly sharp. I know some developers, you know, they obviously, you can't, generally speaking, have everything completely perfect because it does rob you of frame rate, but I must admit they've been able to achieve a very decent amount of performance. And look, I mean, those banners and signs, I mean, I could even probably ring them up right now if I wanted to. But in fact, actually, that's really cool. Just looking there, teach disabled people how to fly. That's so cool. I didn't know they did that here. Wow, so there you are, I've learned something new. But it's a bit windy at the moment, so I might just, well, actually, by the time you see the second part of this video, it will be different weather, because I'm going to do this in two parts, because there's so much going on in the world of Microsoft Flight Simulator at the moment, I'm struggling to get the videos out. But I've got to show you this. Now, if we go over here, and I'll just put the camera on really quick, the drone camera. One thing I really like about this package is the amount of cars, because there's a massive, great big car park here. I'm not sure if that's either actual cars that are visiting because it's an air show, or whether it's an area that scrap cars are kept. I'm not quite sure, to be honest. Look at that bloom there from that building. Incredible lighting effects here. But yeah, it's a very nice, charming airfield, and it's very cheap as well on the Just Flight website. In fact, what I'll do is I'll oh, that's interesting, British car auction. So I guess that's where you go to get your cheap classic cars from. But yeah, I'll put that in the link in the description below. But some of the feature set of this particular airfield, it's got a number of things that's key to this particular package. It has custom taxiways and runways to match the real-world operations. It's got dynamic lighting, we'll have a look at that in a moment. Of course, it's got the usual PBR texture work and beautiful sort of 4K textures, as I imagine. One thing it does say in the feature set is it's got a fully compatible, well, sorry, it's fully compatible with the Microsoft Flight Simulator weather engine. I'm not quite sure what that actually means, but what we'll do actually while we're here is we're going to change the weather, because it's, as I say, it's live at the moment. But we'll put this to, say we'll have broken cloud, bit of precipitation, and we'll go for a bit of a, yeah, January, sort of cold January scene here. We want some rain, and we want some wind. Let's see what happens there. Whoa, maybe not that much wind. That'll do. And I mean, things look, you know, still fine to me. I can't see. Is there any difference? I'm just wondering whether they've got any season variations or something. Is that's what they mean by compatible with the dynamic weather engine? I'm not quite sure. Yeah, I just think it looks the same to me, to be honest. But let's have a look. We'll pull the lights down a bit. Got a few floating orbs. That's a Microsoft Flight Simulator issue. But that looks very nice indeed. I like how the lights kind of scattered and you've got dark patches. But you can see here, it looks really nice indeed as we're panning around. Tell you what we'll do. Let's go back to daytime again, and we'll put some snow in. Yeah, we'll change the time. Well, we'll change the temperature. I don't want it that cold. Maybe about -2.5. That'll do. Precipitation, and we'll get it so it's like November time. Let's see what we get here. Whether we can get some snow. In fact, you know what? I'll just click on the preset. It'll be easier. Oh wow! Look at that. Look at the runway as well. How it's changed. That is very nice. A few more stutters there. That's just as it's loading in. But overall, it looks like a very nice airport, actually. Now, just to say, as we have got the Piper Arrow into view here, and I'll just change the weather, because, as I say, it's a bit scary looking this... There we go. Get rid of all the snow. But yeah, Just Flight have added icing effects now. The propeller animation's been fixed, but there's been a number of different changes to the textures. The cockpits no longer have a reduced graphical setting, which is good, so that it's always going to look nice and sharp. But also things like the VR compatibility has changed as well, which we'll have a look at in more detail. Wind direction has been fixed in the EFB, and flight modelling tweaks, so that's all great, and we're going to try that in this little sort of circuit here. But as I say, this looks really nice, I've got to say. It's beautifully modelled. Look at that. Come and find out more. Some pictures there. And we'll just shoot right back up here and have a quick look what it looks like in its surroundings. Again, blends really well there. A really nice airfield to add to your collection, I think. But what we'll do now is we'll do a couple of circuits in VR with the HP Revo G2 in the Piper Arrow to check out what's changed, because I know there's been a number of tweaks and changes which I've just mentioned, but let's see what it's like in practice. So I'll see you in a moment. Okay, so welcome back. We're in the business end of the Piper Arrow, and I just want to show a few things off with the update. There's been a number of tweaks and things that are very welcome for us VR users, particularly this one. Are you ready for this? Here we go. Oh yes, we've got a VR zoom. I mean, really, the textures are so crisp in this that with the Revo G2 I don't really need it. But for people with, say, the Oculus Rift S perhaps, or the Odyssey Plus, or the Vive, that VR zoom is very, very valuable. In fact, even for me, actually, for the EFB, hang on a minute, I've got to get it right. It's not working now. There we go. You've got to get the right click spot. But that works really nicely. So well done for that. But I think more importantly, more than ever before, this is the big deal. The mouse now works. You don't need to go all cross-eyed anymore. It's absolutely perfect. So that looks like to be a feature that's becoming more and more popular with add-on developers, whether it's the SDK has been updated. But the upshot is it is really nice. So with that being said, I mean, I just had to show you that. That's a big deal, and it's made this aircraft even more polished than it already was. And of course there's been some flight modelling tweaks as well, and just the general feel of it. Oh, by the way, the light up here works as well, if I can strain my neck there, so you get a nice green glow when you're doing those nice nighttime or sunset flights. So with that being said, I think we're going to prime the engine, which, by the way, the logic of the mixture and the priming has also been improved, which means you better fly this bird properly. That's basically what it means. Oh, looks like my dogs are woofing. I'll just edit the video to get that out. Hang on a second. Sorry about that, guys. That's the joys of living with 3 crazy dogs. Right, so I think we're ready for an engine start. Here we go. Clear prop. And there she goes. Very nice. And you know what, I always say this, but when you are in VR, you feel inside the scenery. I am actually here right now, because I'm looking out at everything one-to-one scale, and it looks absolutely stunning. Fire trucks there, and all the signage. In fact, the windsock is pointing in that direction, so what we'll do is we'll just go past the cafe. Unfortunately, it's shut at the moment, but I feel like I could step outside this aircraft and go and get a coffee. And that's the thing about a lot of these add-on airports. They really give you that sense, that believable impression of being, at the real place. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll taxi to the end here, make sure all the T's and P's are all good, which they are. Couple of stages of flap there. We'll put the landing light on. It's so nice to have the VR mouse working correctly. fact, we'll stow the EFB tablet, which now apparently helps with performance, so that's always good. And we'll do a circuit here at Blackbushe. I haven't been here in real life. It's another airfield I've never visited, but I feel like I have now. Just by being in VR, I feel like I've actually been here. Now, I'll put a link in the description below where you can pick this up. I believe it will be on the marketplace. But I always say it's always nice to grab it off the developer from their own website. But I do appreciate that sometimes. That can be, you know, when you've got like 10 or 15 airports from different developers, it gets a bit confusing. So I do understand that having them all on the marketplace can be easy as well. Right, we're going to put our tank onto the most fullest, so that will be the right hand tank in this case. And I think we're ready for a takeoff. Here we go. A little bit high up there, there we go, that's it. Feeding in a bit of a right rudder, compensate for that P factor. And I think she's going to fly herself off the runway there, very smooth. And I think we'll go outside. Wowzers. That's really nice there. Very nice. So as we do our little circuit here, I'm not quite sure if the boundary has been modelled you know, to the extent as some of the developers, but I've got to say the frame rate is really holding up here. Got all those cars glinting in the sun there. Fantastic. Honestly, I can't really describe it with words, but recently with a lot of these add-ons like the Just Flight Piper Arrow and this airfield here, as well as many others I've been showing as well, there's just an uncanny feeling of being there. It's fantastic. Flight simulation has reached a real peak now. We cannot go back. It's just incredible. I can't really put it into words how this feels. We'll do a bit of a short circuit here. A nice closed sort of base leg. Gear can come down again. This Just Flight Arrow, it really is the best general aviation aircraft that there is on the market right now, without question. It's just absolute quality. If you haven't got it yet, why? Let me know in the comments why you haven't, because there's absolutely no reason why you wouldn't get this bird, unless you're sort of an airliner guy. But for general aviation, this is the absolute best that we've got right now. Now the runway here is very wide, and looking at pictures on Google, as I say, I've never been here in real life, it's exactly like it is, like you'd expect if you were on finals right now in real life. It's just so good. Coming for a landing here. This makes you smile, it really does. It's so real. Into the flare. See if we can get the horn to come off. Come on. Not quite. Bit of a bounce there. And we'll do a right hand circuit this time. You could literally just practice your pattern work in this thing for hours and hours, and it's just a pure joy to fly. Love that tower there. It looks very well modelled. It looks fantastic in VR. Wow. You know, I've really missed flying in the real world recently. I tell you what, this is really scratching that itch, because it feels so similar. The only thing I don't have now, I think, is the feeling, the actual sort of, you know, the feeling in the chest when you're bumping around. But the visuals and the audio and the immersive experience that VR gives you with all these add-ons really makes up for it. Look at the, you see there on the window, the sort of fingerprints. I absolutely adore this aircraft. And this is the kind of flying that I love doing the most. Sort of VFR flying. And it's so good to see so many incredible UK airports coming to Microsoft Flight Simulator. Gotta say, the team have done a fantastic job of Blackbushe. Looks a really, really great rendition. Oh yes. This is so good. We are so lucky to be doing this, and I know I say it a lot, and I know I probably get boring, but I truly mean it, guys. Honestly, it's just a wonderful experience. Look at all this woodland here. Of course, we're not far from Farnborough, and that's going to be my next review. So stick around for that one. So much going on. Can't get these videos out quick enough. It's all good. In fact, I'm getting a bit of turbulence from those trees because the transpiration, which is very realistic. You've got to be careful on approach when you're around loads of trees, particularly on a hot day as well, if there's a lot of moisture in the air, because all that moisture will just kick up. And I'm actually getting that right now, which is incredible. Seeing all those cars there in the car park on approach. A very crisp texture work. And so cheap as well. Unbelievably cheap. At the time of this recording, it's on sale. Hopefully by the time this video goes live, I think it's only about £13, which is insane. Here we go, final flare. Oh, bounced it again. But that's okay, there's only a little gentle bounce there. So that completes this sort of look at the Blackbushe Airport by SC Designs, I believe, as well as checking out the brand new Piper Arrow update, which has just made this aircraft even more desirable than it was before, in my opinion. Thank you so much for watching. I'm now going to go and knock on the cafe door, and hopefully someone will answer, because I really need a coffee and a slice of cake. All the best, guys. I'll see you again very soon. Bye bye for now. Oh, those sounds are so gorgeous. They really are. Right, and I love how you got the latch here, just like in the real thing. Listen to that. Pure magic. Even got a guy there waiting, look, for his next flight, all animated. It's just fantastic.